Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu, and I am bringing you guys the first game that I'm casting today of the JoinDota League. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited to be casting some Dota again because I had a relatively okay weekend. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Could have been a lot worse. Much better the weekend before that. Anyway, all that aside, enough about me. Let's go and talk about some Dotes. This is going to be F-Logic versus Sad Gaming, BR. And if you guys haven't heard of any of these teams, you obviously haven't been watching a ton of JDL because I've actually casted, I think, 3 games of F-Logic and I think maybe 2 or 3 games of Sad Gaming. And from what I remember, F-Logic had more of a... Actually, I don't remember. Oh no, CulBlu. CulBlu getting hit with the Anastasia. Anastasia? Wrong word. Amnesia. Haha. Words are hard. Words are hard. Words are hard. Alright, so moving on to things outside of my craziness, let's go and talk about the game because we got an Invoker getting picked up by, or getting banned out by F-Logic, and Sad Gaming banned out the Death Prophet. So, I've seen enough games to know that Death Prophet causes a ton of issues for a lot of teams. Basically, she's like a grossly sustainable hero mid, and she can just kind of defend herself. She can fend for herself. If you decide to send 2 or 3 supports after her, she just drops like 4 soul siphons because she has 4 of them and kills everybody because that's how she works. You know, she's drains your life away. She sucks you down until you're dead, which can be taken in some other context. But let's not talk about that right now because we're talking about some public things like Dota. And speaking of public things, Lone Druid, the man who lives in the jungle all by his lonesome with a spirit bear, which is actually just a figment of his imagination. True story. That's not true story. I don't know what it is. But Lone Druid, he is going to get banned up by Sad Gaming. I've seen Lone Druid do some pretty disgusting things in these games. Basically, he just somehow shows up and just wrecks everything, and then he can drop his bear roar and run it away, or make people run away. I don't think the recent nerf that he faced in the last patch that was released, I think 2 days ago, or 3 days ago now. Actually, ooh, was that 4 days ago? Man. Anyway, I don't think the recent nerf where his Primal Roar or his Savage Roar got increased by 4 seconds at all levels, I think. I don't think that's enough to make people not want to pick Lone Druid, but I do think it's a nerf that he needs. I mean, Savage Roar is a really good ability if you actually max it out. It's like basically a 3-second stun. So he's going to get banned out. I don't think that's his biggest problem. His biggest problem with the meta is that the meta kind of fits his playstyle a lot, where people want to split push, and he can just kind of split push by himself with the bear and run away and get out. Do some pretty wacky things. But moving on to the bans on F-Logic, they do ban out the OD. I've seen OD be very, very, very popular, have a lot of power, have a lot of team fight potential, and all you have to do is just build attack speed and some health on him, and you're pretty much golden every single game. So I like the fact that he's banned out. I still am a huge fan of OD, but I'm an even huger fan of Faceless Void, especially if we get some off-lane Faceless Void action, because I'm going to be all up in that. I'm going to be like watching it and like casting and getting some popcorn and just munching away. Faceless Void has kind of received what I like to call a paradigm shift, where some people think Faceless Void is still a great carry. I don't think he's as strong of a carry as he used to be, mainly because Time Walk is not as great as it used to be. Well, it wasn't that great to begin with, but it's not as okay as it used to be. It's actually kind of crappy for escaping. So given the fact that he has a lot of sustainability, it really makes him nice as somebody to just kind of put there in, you know, in the off lane, get the farm, and then run away. Also, backtrack. I don't know how many times you guys have had it happen to you, but there's been a few Laguna Blades dodge in my days as Faceless Void. And by that I mean I've dropped the Laguna Blade and Faceless Void dodged it. It was a pretty sad day. But Faceless Void has a huge shift in his whole entire playstyle, so I'm actually kind of excited to see him get played in this game. I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing the off lane, but of course we will have to wait and see. Moving to the side of F-Logic, they do pick up the Lich and the Vengeful Spirit respectively. 2 blue supports. So going for the very cool and blue strategy, I approve a lot. But having the Lich is really nice, and having the Vengeful Spirit is really nice. Lich, basically a lane dominator, just flat out helps you win the lane because he can eat a creep and then walk away, and then he's done his job. And oh, by the way, his slow is actually kind of good on top of people like, okay, it's not that good on Faceless Void, but you can still cause Faceless Void some issues as far as being able to get some last hits or even being able to run away. And that nuke, that's a 300 damage nuke at max level. That's pretty darn strong. And speaking of, it's 300. Oh, my bad. 200 damage nuke. Whoa, my bad. I'm overreacting here. But the Vengeful Spirit, a nice trusty support that a lot of people have been picking up. Basically being able to swap people out and drop that extra stun on top of people's face just helps out a lot, and the negative armor always good in any lineup. Moving into the pick on the side of Sad Gaming, they did pick up the Witch Doctor as their last pickup, so just a nice little sustainable support to have in the background, and yeah, not really much else to talk about aside of that. Moving on to the bans, Sad Gaming, they do ban out a Darkseer and they ban out a Slaughter, which means, yeah, it's pretty good things. Darkseer, relatively sustainable offlaner. I think he does a lot better than Faceless Void in offlane, of course, and he can also transition to a jungle. And if you have something like a Darkseer plus Lich, I mean, that's pretty much, man, you're destined to die a few times. That's not a good idea to let that happen. So getting him banned out so there will be no Wannabiss, Cannabis of some sort is really nice, but do keep in mind that people like Magnus are still in the pool. People like Enigma, who's rarely that played that much nowadays, he's still in the pool as well. So they can still get the Wombo combo going if that really what if that's really what gets them to where they need to go. I don't know if F-Logic are going to be more in tune for the big team fight, or if they're going to try to go for more of the standard, get your core farmed, and then let them go ahead and kill a few people and do Deathball meta, go straight down the middle, and get yourself an Ancient. Speaking of Deathball meta, we do have the Gyrocopter and the Ember Spirit getting banned out. Not Ember Spirit so much, but Gyrocopter really fit in the Deathball meta so hard. Basically, being able to get Flat Cannon and just travel with your team and just shoot everybody forever while the Deathball is going is always a really helpful thing. So he does get banned out by F-Logic. And I always like to think of Gyrocopter in somewhat the sense of like a Juggernaut, where, kind of has this stage where he's doing really well with his magic damage in the early games, and then in the later parts of the game his physical damage is not enough to actually threaten anybody, and it causes a ton of issues. So I'm of the school of thought that Juggernaut and Gyrocopter fit the same niche role, but Gyrocopter is stronger because he can scale a little bit better into the later parts of the game. Although granted, a super 6-slotted Juggernaut can still kill you pretty fast, but I don't think he's as potent as a Gyrocopter, who can kill your entire team just as fast. Moving on to the ban on the Ember Spirit though. Ember Spirit, very annoying to deal with, very hard for these guys to hold down. F-Logic only have about 1 stun, 2 stuns now with the Bat Rider, so they don't want anybody just kind of split pushing them to death and causing them all kinds of shenanigans, having shenanigans going on and cause them all kinds of issues. But they do pick up the Bat Rider, which I actually like. I like the fact they pick up the Bat Rider. Bat Rider always fits in almost any lineup throughout any patch. You can nerf him as much as you want. You can make him as blind as you want to. He can be as blind as a bat, which is actually very thematic. But he can be as blind as a bat, and he'll probably still do relatively well once he gets a Blink Dagger, 4-stash, Tranquil Boots, and he'll be on his way to stealing your peoples and like running away like a baller, because that's what he does. Except for he's a batter. He's a batter. Guess you could say he's a mad batter. Get it? Because it's like a mad hat. Okay, sorry. Moving over to the rest of the stuff though. Lineup so far from F-Logic is looking pretty nice. They had the Vengeful Spirit and the Bat Rider on the same team, which some people like, or a lot of teams like to pick a VS versus a Bat Rider because it's a support that can counter the Bat Rider relatively hard by just swapping out the person getting pulled or even stunning the Bat Rider for 2 seconds and helping the team get close enough to kill the Bat. So having those two on the same side is going to be really nice because they can actually set up some really cool kills where they can swap out, they can use the Vengeful Spirit to swap somebody in, Bat Rider can lasso him and pull him back into the middle team faster. Yeah, sure, VS might die, but it's just as long as VS gets that negative armor off, that's all you really want from her. Sad Gaming, they do pick up the Rubik, which is interesting to say the least. Some interesting spells for him to steal. If he can still Lich's Frost Blast, that would be pretty nice as far as stopping these people on F-Logic's side. Bat Rider really susceptible to getting hit by them slows, and Vengeful Spirit, not the most mobile person in the world, and I seriously doubt we'll see a Blink Dagger on her. We might see a 4-staff though. But a Rubik will be getting some value out of that. He can also definitely steal the Ice Shield, or the Frost Armor. It'll be a really nice spell for him to steal. But most importantly though, his biggest spell is probably going to be the Chain Frost, and now Tombstone, if F-Logic decide to, leave Undying without that there. But yeah, Rubik gonna be a relatively solid pick. They do have both of their supports picked up on Sad Gaming side. I don't think we see ourselves any more mid Rubiks, although I think we saw one recently, but it was kind of more like a support mid Rubik. It was really weird. I forgot what game I was watching on that. It might have been an old game I went back and watched, but for the most part, Rubik playing support is gonna be really nice, especially coupled with the Witch Doctor. They're not the most aggressive duo in the world, but Maledict and 2 Zap is going to be a lot of extra damage, so they do have that combination going for them. So Sad Gaming have some kill potential with their supports. Of course, not as much as something like a Bane Mirana, but they do have some really nice kill potential with their supports. Speaking of kills potential, they also pick up a Zeus too, so Zeus is going to be wrecking stuff. I'm expecting to see a very explosive game. I guess you could say it's pretty enlightening, so to speak. No? No? Okay. Sorry. Apologies. See, my goal is to try to be clever, but it's hard. It's hard. I was trying to think of something to be funny with that, but I couldn't. It just came out very wrong. Anyway, moving all aside though, all that aside, Zeus being picked up. Sad Gaming going to be playing that mid Zeus. Mid Zeus going to do relatively well versus what looks to be a mid Undying at this point. And yeah, he should do relatively well versus him. I mean, be able to just drop a few lightning bolts on top of his face and maybe make Undying cry a little bit. But F-Logic kind of have like an awkward dilemma where they're forced to run the Batrider into the offlane. They also have the Undying playing the mid at this specific point, and they really don't have a carry unless they do go for something like a DK, because their mid is not going to be, like in my opinion, their mid is not going to be that great with an Undying mid or a Batrider mid. Although Batrider can still run mid, I think I said Batrider can run mid now as easily as he used to be able to because he has the OP regen now, 2 hit points or 2 HP regen per second, which is all it's all fine and dandy. But when Zeus can just nuke you down, I guess it doesn't matter that much. F-Logic, they do ban out the Viper, so that does tell me at least that they're trying to go for something like a DK. They do have a lot of mids who can bully a DK a lot, like the Viper, like the OD, like the Invoker. Or so like the Viper and Invoker getting banned out. So some pretty strong mids versus someone like a DK. I do think the DK is still susceptible to getting blown up by Zeus though, so I do caution them against picking up a DK mid. But as far as their choices though, they still can go for a Queen of Pain. She's still in the pool. They can also go for a Wind Ranger mid, but they decided to go for an Alchemist instead. So Alchemist can be really nice versus the Zeus, having the extra regen and actually being able to zone out Zeus pretty darn effectively, and maybe even get a kill or two. So F-Logic gonna have a relatively interesting early game. But all in all, I do still expect Sad Gaming to have a more solid late game. Alchemist can get out of control, maybe get a few Aghanim Scepters for Vengeful Spirit, Batrider, Undying, Lich. Actually, everybody can benefit from an Aghanim Scepter, with the exception of Alk. But for the most part, I do see Sad Gaming going a lot better into the late game. Of course, you can never count the team out that has a Batrider. Don't ever forget that. Don't make that mistake. So F-Logic do still have the potential to get there, but like I said, overall, I'm just liking the lineup of Sad Gaming a lot better. They have a lot of good synergy with their people, and I'll talk more about that once the game starts up. But first, let's go ahead and talk about the players. Starting off on the side of Sad, we have on this Witch Doctor, CulBlu playing that Witch Doctor. Rubik is being handled by the one and only Hugayo. Then we got Invoker, Faceless Void. Wow, Faceless Void being handled by DHX. And Weaver being handled by the one and only PL15. And last but not least, on this Beefcake Zeus, we have McQuiviel. Look at him. Look at him. Still 2 feet tall, but look at him. He's like all buff and stuff. Beefcake Zeus. Hashtag Beefcake Zeus, guys. Come on, we can do this. Alright, moving into the side of, oh god, okay, that was a little too close. Sorry. Moving into the side of, who's inside of F-Logic? We have Bring Back Zio 8 on that Alchemist. We got handling the Undying Slow, handling the Undying. Lich being controlled by the one and only Evil Chulu 2.0. And we have Samus Prime. Wow! That's actually very accurate. No, it's not that accurate, but Samus Prime would have those colors, wouldn't she? Like she had like a bluish type color. It's kind of close, man. It's kind of cool. Samus Prime being handled, or sorry, Samus Prime handling that Vengeful Spirit, and last but not least, the Batrider being controlled by the one and only Milo. And that ends all the callouts for both teams. So we're just moving over. We see shenanigans happening by the Witch Doctor. Gonna go ahead and place himself a lane ward. We'll probably get dewarded here very soon if they suspect some stuff going on, but for the most part, if they can just drop a nice little sentry ward here, it should be able to see all of this mess. And these are common ward spots like here and here. So we'll see if they miss it. But actually, Smoke Ink getting revealed. They do ping it. Weaver might be in a little bit of trouble. Sakuchi's available. Will be able to run away. Does not want to die. He is not about that life. Specifically that life. And actually Zeus. Oh, Zeus, run away, bro. You got 295. You can do it. And Zeus will be able to back away. Vengeful Spirit not going to be able to get nearly close enough before she takes too much damage. Actually, Zeus coming back. Oh no, they're going to go for it. Lich has his Frost Blast available. Zeus gets his Frost Blast. Rubik, nice telekinesis, catching on the 3. Casket bouncing on top of 3, and it's going to be bouncing away. Undying actually committing the Tombstone. Extra gold going the way they want it. Looks like they will claim it. Meanwhile, the Courier actually taking quite a bit of damage. It might need to hide in these trees. Vengeful Spirit being a big bully. And the Courier will be able to make it this one alive. But yeah, the Courier somehow walking out here almost went down to the Vengeful Spirit. Just like one more right click and that would have been it. That would have been a ton of gold. Anyway, the jungle camps do get warded. Yeah, they do have a sentry ward available for the Witch Doctor, and I think he would need to place his ward right about here. So he'll probably place it there, which will scout out both of these. So he'll be able to do that. That'd be pretty nice for him overall. And yeah, so outside of the early game shenanigans, it looks like we got ourselves a normal game of Dota starting. So I hope you guys all are hyped, because I know I am. Wow, words. I told you, words are hard. It's like you have to say things and you have to inhale at the right time. You have to make sure you don't bite your tongue. God. Jeez. And moving back into the game though, we got a mid Batrider versus the Zeus. Like I said, the Batrider can. Oh, whoa! Undying does go down bottom. He does lose his life. Fair Fire was eaten, if I'm not mistaken, or Magic One. So a lot of damage going his way. On the Weaver Witch Doctor, was it Maledict? Nope, just a Casket plus some Sakuchis and a Telekinesis. Undying getting a little bit too close to the fire, and now we see just all right click damage and gold getting claimed. All kinds of funness and stuff. But yeah, moving into the top lane, Faces Void going to be playing that annoying off lane, so Alchemist and Vengeful Spirit, they could potentially kill him, but it will force Alchemist to get a few points since I have his unstable concoction, and he really doesn't want to do that. So he's going to be super greedy, get his farm, they both go their separate ways. Moving into the bottom lane, we saw the kill happen on Undying earlier, but we do have a duo lane of some sorts with the Lich Undying versus the tri-lane of the Rubik Witch Doctor and the other person. Oh, Weaver, right, I couldn't see him, he's so short. So all just hanging out there. Anyway, Central was getting placed in the lane, just trying to do some de-warding, make sure there's nothing crazy going on, and also making sure that the Weaver doesn't get a little bit too close to his first britches. Speaking of getting too close for his britches, Faces Void actually taking quite a bit of damage up top. Alchemist is going to be able to get some right clicks on him. It looks like Vengeful Spirit did get a stun. Some heal did get used on top of that. And back mid, we got the ever so even Zeus versus Batrider. And actually, Zeus might be in a little bit of trouble. Gonna be walking all the way to pick up a rune. Gonna be forced to go all the way back home. Turns around, drops a few pieces of nukes, but sadly doesn't have enough mana to continue on. Batrider has 3 whole stacks on top of Zeus. Zeus just might be going down. He buys out immediately. He knows he's dead, and he's gonna go ahead and tap out of this one. Meanwhile, Weaver has a haste rune. They're gonna go for it. Witch Doctor's available on the backside. Batrider will be able to fly to the high ground, but Weaver is too fast, too skimpy for you. It looks like he will be able to walk into the high ground, get some free right clicks, and Batrider gonna be going down. Sakuchi might be enough. No, needs a few more right clicks. Weaver needs to be careful though. Doesn't have his ulti. Fair Fire gets eaten up. Witch Doctor shows up. Casket flies. It does get the kill on top of Bat, but Weaver does lose his life at the end of the day. Not enough to actually get healed up. Luckily he buys up before he dies as well. And tower damage is doing a little bit too much to these guys. Shows you guys those level 1 nerfs. Level 1 nerfs to everybody when towers started hitting harder versus heroes. Ouch. Yeah, just a few abilities used and a healing salve plus a tango, so a lot of regen burned through by the Weaver. He's gonna be sitting pretty sad, but he should be fine though. His supports should be able to keep him alive. Do keep in mind that down bottom they did place a Sentry Ward. There was an Observer Ward placed up by the Radiant, but looks like they did kill it already. And speaking of killing, we got Lich. Actually, no, it's not Lich. Undying actually taking quite a bit of damage. He's gonna be able to heal up here. Pops himself a Magic One, not enough to keep him alive. You can't stop the Beatles, bro. And he does go down. And actually, Lich taking a ton of damage. Holy crap, Weaver just hitting so hard. Gemini attack just doing a little bit more than what they thought it would. And now Weaver's gonna be forcing Lich all the way back home. Lich will be able to turn around and throw out the Frost Blast. Weaver, careful. Gonna back away. Slowly skitter away. And now Lich is in a little bit of trouble. Does a deny. And he'll probably get healed up by Undying. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Undying does have a nice little ring of regions that he can give to him. Meanwhile, top lane, we got the Casket coming from Witch Doctor. They're trying to go for a kill on top of somebody. Nice little ability coming out from Faces Void, but he will be losing his life at the end of the day. Not enough time for Time Walk. And speaking of time for Time Walk, Witch Doctor shows up. A lot of damage going to a Vengeful Spirit, but she's going to be able to stay alive. Witch Doctor not having a point side of Maledict really hurt him a ton. That could have been a potential kill on top of both these guys, but you can't win them all, boys. Can't win them all, boys. And Alchemist will be able to get himself a Soul Ring fully finished up. Healing Salve as well. He's ready to just continuously spam that acid spray because that ass Sid spray. So moving on back into the Zeus, which we haven't talked about too terribly much. He's still sitting on nothing but a bottle and a dream. That's all he got, a bottle and a dream. But some boots should be coming out to him very soon. Yeah, it's just some brown boots coming his way. Moving on back in the top lane, Faces Void does have support of Witch Doctor, just to make sure his lane doesn't go too terribly crazy. And with Alchemist zoning him out so hard, looks like they're gonna go for a kill. Alchemist is in a lot of trouble right now. He does get hit with a nice little ability from Faces Void. It's slow, not gonna be able to do much. Alchemist just might be able to drop himself a stun to keep himself alive. He will be able to turn around, drops a stun, and he does die to the last right click coming up from the Witch Doctor.
Stick a bone in it. You're done.
And there's Witch Doctor, being a nice little jerk that he is, bragging about the kill he just got. Don't you just know Alchemist just lost his life, bro? Alchemist just lost his life, bro. Speaking of losing his life, we got 21 last hits going towards Faces Void, surprisingly. I was expecting top lane to go a lot more in favor of Alchemist. Looks like he was doing some good job with the denying, but that's really about it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we still got these guys going very close to each other. Weaver getting scouted out continuously by the Sentry Ward. So Sentry Ward has pretty much lived a full life, and it will die a very proud ward, helping out his team, just watching the crap out of everything. But Undying needs to be very careful though. Doesn't really have much armor, and Weaver's right clicks are hurting pretty much, or are hurting a lot. Has a whole entire ring of Aquila. And top lane, we got Faceless Void, or Witch Doctor in a lot of trouble, healing up quite a bit. Faceless Void coming around the backside, has 1.7 his time lock, not gonna be able to do much though. And now Weaver returns. And speaking of returning, we got the kill happen on top of Zeus. Rubik rotated mid to help out, but it wasn't enough. Zeus still going to be going down. Barrett just showing you guys how strong he is versus mids. Like Zeus, who has no escape. I think Queen of Pain would have been a cool choice, but Zeus to me feels a lot better in the late game. Especially when he starts getting the Octarine Cores, Ethelins, and the Sheepstick shenanigans, just blowing people up for no reasons. Or sorry, Ags Refresher. Ags Refresher would be nice too. You know, Observer Ward going to be going down here very soon. Zeus does get hit with smoke. I think they scouted it out. And it looks like Zeus going to walk all the way up. They're going to find the Undying. Undying will be going down just 1 or 2 lightning bolts. The Weaver will be able to catch that kill. And this is a very happy Weaver. 2 kills to his name. Been involved in 4. His team only has 5. Sad or not very sad right now. But F Logic, they're having a relatively rough game. Alchemist not going out as well as they wanted to. He has died a whole entire 1 time. And only 1 assist to his name. But his net worth sitting right now is probably sitting on the highest because he has his Grieve of Greed. I would assume. I will go ahead and give him that credit, saying his net worth's probably at the top. It's close enough. Batrota has the most gold on the map right now. Getting those 3 kills on Zeus so far. Or, well, 2 kills on Zeus. So mid lane, just some more War of Attrition. Zeus just trying to be as cool of a baller as he can be. He has a haste rune fully in the bottle. One of the dynamics of Batrota versus Zeus is that both of them can get a blink, or both of them can get a magic stick, and it's just kind of hilarious just watching them both heal each other. Or heal back and forth because both sides spam a ton of spells. But overall I do still expect this lane to not go too terribly bad for Zeus, even though he's already died 2 times. So Zeus still trying to do what he can. Not going to be able to rotate around. Actually drops his ulti to help him get the kill down bottom. Lich does fall down. And speaking of falling down, Undying, he's going to be the next one to go down. Tombstone does fall and looks like he drops himself a heal. Drops a decay. I think his decay missed completely. Witch Doctor's trying to go for the heal. And T-Swole is going to be a lot of trouble. Eats a fairy fire around the corner. Has a decay here in 5 seconds. Will he be able to survive? It's a big question. But no, he goes down. PL15 having the best of times right now. Weaver, best game of his life so far. Not really of his life, but close enough. And now PL15, he's working on the Linkosphere, so gonna be a slow burn game for Weaver. But once he gets that Linkosphere, oh ho ho ho, you will hear him roar. However, time rates roar. Meow. That's what term rates sound like, right? True story. True story. And Faceless Void has a Chronosphere available, so I think Alchemist may be trying to bait it out of him, masterfully bait it out of him. That's what he does. And going back mid, Batrota, I haven't really checked his items in a while, but he is working on a Blink Dagger first. So he will be having that here very soon. Having a fantastic lane going for him so far. Sitting on the whole entire was his 34 last hits, close enough. 34 last hits, no jungle necessary. Straight out of the mid lane, bro. Rubik does pick up a Urn of Shadows, so I think we're going to see some rotation, or a lot more rotations coming out of him. He's planning on being involved in all the fights. And I wonder if we're going to see a Blink Dagger on Rubik this game. It looks like Rubik is taking the farm this game. Witch Doctor, not Witch Doctor's farm and support. Yeah, Rubik's just getting what he can get. So yeah, Witch Doctor's gonna be the one trying to get the Aghanim Scepter here, and Rubik is the one buying all the wards, playing that 5 position support. We got a rotation coming in, and Lich does get himself a nice little Frost Blast stolen. Rubik gonna be relatively happy with that. Probably prefers the Tombstone, but hey, can't win them all, can you? But this means that they can set themselves up for some really nice kills with the Witch Doctor Casket followed by, with the Frost Blast followed by Witch Doctor Casket. Set up some easy kills. Meanwhile, we got DHX hanging out top. Needs to be a little bit careful. You don't want to die, dear bro, dear DHX. And down bottom, we got some dives coming through. Undying does go down. Zeus' ulti did pop, help him get the kill. He actually does pick up that kill completely. And they did also scout out the Lich who was rotating towards mid. So now Zeus not going to be in as much trouble as he might have been earlier. But Batrota gonna have a Blink Dagger here and probably the next right now. TP coming on top for Witch Doctor, rotations coming in, Faceless Void has a Chrono available, and he's working towards what looks to be, I hope it's not a Mask of Madness, but it could be a Hand of Midas into a Helmet of Dominator. I'm really not, I really don't think Faceless Void can do Mask of Madness anymore. Yeah, that actually might be a Vlad's. I know, just some item in general would be good for Steam. Actually, they do drop out the ulti, and here comes the damage coming from Witch Doctor's ulti, doing so much damage to the Alchemist. He will be going down. Nice played. Well played. Classic. Wish Doctor plus Faces Void, and now Faces Void actually getting caught on. He get jumped on, gonna get pulled all the way back into the acid. It looks like he will be able to make it out of this one and heals up a little bit. Wish Doctor's gonna be in a ton of trouble. He has a TP available. Lich has no stun available, no ulti, and now Faces Void still in a lot of trouble. Has a time walk available, but not able to get the cast time off. And now, speaking of getting things off, Wish Doctor not gonna be able to get anything off at all, except for himself into the grave, because that's what he does. That's how he rolls, bro. He dies down. He dies up top. So ultimately, you kill the Alchemist for losing a support plus a offlaner. I want to say that's a wash overall. The only reason I say it's wash is because of who got the kills. The double kill did go towards Batrider, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, I lied. Yeah, one of the kills went towards Batrider, and one of the kills went towards a Lich who's not doing too hot. You just see he just bought everything he could. He's gonna have Tranquil Boots here, so it's gonna be very happy about that. But for the most part, because of who the kills went to is what makes it a little bit worse. Batrider gonna be that much closer to his 4-staff, and having your offlaner Faces Void die, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. He dropped a Chrono, got a kill, and he stopped the Alchemist from being as big as he could be. But it doesn't really matter much when the person who's gonna be causing you the most trouble mid-game is getting stronger as the game goes along. Speaking of causing trouble, Undying having a lot of trouble staying alive. He's going to be going toe-to-toe with Weaver. They do ping on top of him, and Undying going to be forced all the way back. Just healing up a little bit. 5 damage to them creeps, bro. And for anybody who doesn't know, just a fun fact, something I learned a long time ago that I didn't know was a thing. Whenever you use Soul Rip, it deals 5 damage, 5 HP removal to everything that's in the range. And it's actually pretty interesting to see how that works, because it almost never becomes a factor. But I've always thought, like, can you deny somebody with that? I've never paid attention to like the little technicality or technical patch notes below the whole does 5 HP. 5 HP worth of damage. Anyway, speaking of 5 HP worth of damage, we got the courier coming through. Batrider and crew. Oh, they do get scouted out. Zeus ulti gonna be able to scout out everything. He's actually gonna be able to help get the kill on top of Alchemist. So nice little 3-man gank, but they do scout out everything. Weaver's still gonna dive for it. He has his ulti available. Needs to go ahead and use it here very soon. Gonna be able to drop it and Sakuchi away. Batrider still with the fire. They do. I think I see the trees dying. They should see the trees dying. I want to say you're not able to see the fire when Batrider is invisible, but you can see the trees dying. So yeah, Weaver definitely knew what the heck was going on. We'll have a Link Sphere here very soon. Actually, Batrider might be a little bit of trouble. Weaver's gonna go on him. He's gonna go and drop the beetles just so Batrider can't blink, and now Batrider's gonna be forced or run down here by the Weaver. He's all by himself. Nobody's coming to support. Milo might be going down here. A lot of damage going his way, but looks like Batrider's still able to keep himself alive, and they're gonna look for the turnaround. Here comes Undying showing up. Venture Spirit throws out the Waver Tear. Don't really know if it scouts out anything at all. Weaver will be relatively safe though. He's gonna be able to Sakuchi out of there. Meanwhile, on top tower, getting beat up by 4 people on the Radiant squad, and this is a good place to be. If you're sad, this is exactly where you want to be. You want to have the Weaver down bottom, forcing everybody on F Logic side to rotate down. I mean, we basically just had at least a whole minute of 4 people on F Logic side trying to hang out down bottom, either trying to kill the Weaver or trying to make sure that Undying or whoever that was didn't die. And then now we got a tower out of it, so Sad are sitting pretty well. Faces Void still continue to get his farm, but the highest net worth should be on the Weaver, and it is on the Weaver, versus the Batrider, who's going to be the biggest problem in the mid game. So we'll see how F Logic transition this Batrider, who's getting a nice huge chunk of farm. We'll see how they cash that in and make their team better, because Alchemist can still be a very scary carry, but I think he's a lot less scary. Oh, he's a lot less scary when he's dead. He actually goes down. A lot of abilities getting used. Just make sure that Alchemist stays down in the ground as far as his net worth goes. He's actually below the Faces Void. So basically, he was playing off laner. Very sad days. Very sad dealings indeed. Yeah, just a ton of abilities getting used. Faces Void dropping the Chrono. Essentially treated like a Magnus. Treated like a Magnus ult. And one thing I want to go ahead and mention too, while we have a few moments before we see some more team fights break out, is that the synergy coming from Sad is a little bit better in my honest opinion. Because I've seen a lot of teams pick up the Faces Void and then go for like a melee type carry like Spectre. And it's something that just doesn't work. Oh, speaking of things that don't work, we got Zeus getting Blanc on. He's going to be getting pulled out a little bit. Lich dropping the ulti too. Going to go and commit it. The damage does go through. Unfortunately, Lich didn't really have to use it. But I think they were expecting a lot more, bigger response from Sad. But looks like Sad were either not ready to go for it or just said, hey Zeus, you're dead, bro. Speaking of hey Zeus, you're dead, bro, we got Weaver down bottom taking a ton of damage. Going to be able to heal himself up. And PL15 just going to continue to drop the right clicks. Alchemist forced to pop the ulti. TP coming down bottom from the Vengeful Spirit. No deaths available. Meanwhile, Vengeful Spirit still hanging out mid. Or sorry. The Vengeful Spirit cancels her TP, and the team is still hanging on mid. So I didn't say. And Rubik stole Decay. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So take a look at the items on the map. Zeus has the Aether Lens, and he's working on a Bloodstone. I've seen many a times where Zeus would decide to go for the Bloodstone over other things like an Octarine Core, or even a Force Staff to some extent. But in this specific game, having yourself a Bloodstone is gonna be okay. I don't think it will save you versus. I don't think it'll save you much versus the Batrider. I mean, you're pretty much dead at that point, so just having a lower cooldown is good. And also having things like armor is not that big of a deal right now, because F-Logic don't really have a defined carry just yet. Like Alchemist is still trying to farm his big items, but the fact that he went for a Soul Ring as opposed to going for something like a Hand of Midas, just trying to be greedy, just tells you kind of a little bit about it. Speaking of things that you need to know a little bit about, Lich might be going down. Oh, the first hit bash, second, third hit bash, but he did go for the Mask of Madness. Bash Lord is in the house right now, boys. It's like Basharax, but a little bit cooler. Speaking of Basharax, we got Weaver just being the nerdiest of rats, hanging out down bottom. Gonna be able to get himself a kill on top of bottom tower, and he will TP mid to help his team push mid. Undying will be the casualty in this whole entire war. Wizards actually committing the entire ulti. Tombstone falls down, and they will be able to get themselves some more gold. Weaver actually claiming that gold. Looks like the pings do come through. They see the Zeus. I don't know if Zeus. Oh no, Zeus is invis. I don't know if they saw the Zeus pick up the invis, but they see something. Zeus is pinging all on top of the Alchemist. They want to go for a kill, but so many people around here. Is the smoke going to see? Oh, the smoke gang gets cancelled immediately. The Delta appearance comes through. Zeus is in trouble. Big trouble. A gank for a gank. Why not? They dropped the ulti from Zeus. He's done his damage. He's done, I mean, he probably wants a little bit more time to deal more damage, but he's done his damage. He made them waste the whole entire smoke, and he did a nice sizable amount of damage. Space creation. What can I say? Space created. Mid tower goes down. Zeus dropped all of his abilities. He died. Pop Soul Ring even. So help him kill him faster. But a very awkward series of events. F-Logic were looking to looking to do things. We got Wistark getting cut off. He's gonna get pulled in. Undying dropping the ulti. Gonna commit as much damage as possible, getting what they can. They will be able to give themselves a kill. And the gold graph probably showing heavily in favor of Sad. Having just a few kills on the supports is always a good thing. That's gonna be their way to claw their way back into this game. And Undying ulti's down, so this is their time to go ahead and team fight. Having the extra amplified damage is going to be very helpful for clearing out the waves. Going to also be very helpful for hurting all these heroes down, or hitting all these heroes down. I think Rubik up. Rubik steals Alchemist ulti. Oh no, Rubik's going to be getting blasted immediately though. Not going to be able to do jack squat. Telekinesis does come through though. Alchemist looking for a stun. Going to be able to stun himself, and that's really about it. Zeus from long range, from downtown, just nuking everybody down, just hitting a few little abilities. Batrider really wishes his blink wasn't on cooldown because Zeus is a jerk. But Zeus is going to continue to drop that damage. Meanwhile, Weaver's up the top lane, just well and away. Needs a Deso in this game, just so he can rip down those towers earlier, faster. And now Wistark's a Casket doing some amazing bounces. Look at these bounces, though. Look at it go. This is like the most OP Casket I've ever seen. This is like basically Dota 2 Emba. That's what that is. But we got an Observer Ward and Central Ward place mid, so Zeus can actually drop Lightning Bolts to de-ward those. Looks like he's not going to do that. And I'm trying to think of like the best. Oh, this is gonna be what they wanted. Face the Void, drop himself ability. Kess is the Batrider right on the corner of the ability. It looks like Batrider will not be the target, but Zeus drops the ulti. Lich ulti bounce around, getting some good bounces. Witchdoctor not gonna be going down, but they do get themselves a kill on top of Zeus and Faces Void. Witchdoctor will be the final casualty of war. He's gonna go ahead and drop the casket. Alchemist still running him down though. Meanwhile, another kill is coming on top of the what? Rubik? Yeah, Rubik does go down, and so does Witch Doctor. So pretty much all of Sad are dead, with the exception of Weaver, who's actually doing a good job of just continuously pushing down towers. And this is still okay. I mean, you don't want to throw too many fights like that, but if they're able to get towers in exchange for maybe losing 2 or 3 people, then it's always a good, worthwhile trade. That means that overall that they're winning in the further war for objectives. But considering the fact that F-Logic do not have any towers and the gold graph is as skewed towards Sad as it is at the 5k mark, if you want to balance out this tower goals, basically it's a 0 gold game. Speaking of 0 gold game, we got TP coming in. Oh, Lich, he cancels TP. He would have been able to make us online, but looks like he does go down officially. And Weaver going to continue to drop the right click. He's actually going to instead try to farm up a Tombstone because he wants more gold. His Lincoln Sphere helping him out a lot in that fight. So yeah, we saw Lincoln Sphere got popped, but it's not going to pop it here, is it? No. Which, I mean, I guess it's okay. I mean, this is a really good game for Weaver to have a Lincoln Sphere. Most of the important target spells are stuns, and he can block every single one of them. The only exception is Licious Frost Blast, but not too many times that you're not going to be able to run from that anyway, so I guess we'll probably see the Vengeful Spirit stun lead off, or maybe the Frost Blast lead off. I would like to see some other big items come out like a Rod of Atos, but of course F-Logic do have more important things to worry about, such as how long is it going to take Alchemist to become super big and scary. He does officially have himself a Radiant, so he did decide to go for the Radiance build, and we'll probably see him go for, or he already has Boosted Travel. So he has a Boosted Travel available too. We'll probably see him start going for some more stat-based items, maybe I think Radiant's Alchemists usually go for things like Bashers and more attack speed. Not 100% sure on that one, but overall, I was going to say stats will be a really nice thing for him to go for, so maybe even try to go for a heart eventually. BKB definitely going to be a necessity in this game. At least versus the Zeus. And now faces Void, cops a Chrono, catches the Barrow all by his lonesome. The damage is real. Wish Doctor committing the ulti too. They just really don't want the Barrow to come through. And now we got Alchemist in a lot of trouble. Rubik drops the ulti, and he's going to be able to do a little bit of damage. Faces Void trying to be a man, but he can't really be a man when he's taking that much damage. He goes down. And now Vengeance Spirit does get zapped from the world. Undying, dropping the ulti, trying to keep himself healed up, but nobody's dying right now. He actually goes down. Now the Lich dropping the ulti, counting him one, but that's really bad. Weaver's still so big in this game. Gonna drop the ulti and come back around the corner. Triple kill going for the Weaver. Oh, sorry, triple kill going for the Zeus. And the Zervoid does get scouted out. They're saying, hey bro, they got wards. And it looks like they had the vision? They missed the vision? I think the vision raise is only 600 on this. Or 750. Oh, that's their ward. Ha, lols, JK. But 5 people going down for F Logic. So a huge team fight blender. Gold Graph going to be shooting even more in favor of SAD as we go along. XP Graph showing it was getting back towards the 0 mark, which is why that fight was almost as good for F Logic as it was for SAD. But that having Bauer not able to get that initial pick off really hurt them a ton. Just basically going to the high ground. I mean, at the very least, Bauer still has his ulti available. But all things considered, it's still gonna be really hard for him to actually get a good pick off. Next to the Curry hanging around the corner, just casually waiting. There we go. Bauer looking for an ulti. He's gonna be able to drop into the Weaver. No, actually yes, Weaver does get picked off. The Force Staff was used, and now Rubik, oh not Rubik, Bauer's gonna be in a lot of trouble. Lasso coming on top of him. He gets pulled away, the slowest pull of his life, and now Vengeance Spirit will be able to swap out. And they do find himself a Witch Doctor. He will be the casualty in this one. He has ulti available. If he can drop a little bit more damage, he will be very happy. But instead, he's gonna be going down. No point to Maledict at all. And now the zap from Rubik, just doing a little bit of damage. Weaver's still going toe-to-toe with the Vengeance Spirit. She's in a lot of trouble. They're going to go to high ground. Weaver just standing still. The jukes on this one are so strong right now. Sentry's getting placed double Sentry because, hey, why not? Weaver actually gets scouted out. The stun does miss. Stun does miss. But double Sentry getting placed. Support's on point. A little bit of inefficient play, but, I mean, it's a little bit hard to coordinate those when you're in scrambler things. Scramble, or trying to figure out who drops a ward and who doesn't. So yeah, going back to the items, because Sad's items looking pretty fantastic right now. The Glimmer Cape is fully finished up on Rubik, so he's going to be able to jump in and out of some of those fights. Maybe even be able to drop a Glimmer Cape on his ally who's getting pulled by the Batrider, and that's kind of another option to keep him alive. We have Weaver has a Linkosphere working towards that MKB, so he can just do so much more damage. I still would like to see a Deso, but I guess there's not that many towers left to use a Deso 1. And having the negative armor. No, Rubik's Out doesn't do negative armor, just does negative damage. Yeah, I was gonna say having the negative armor is probably not that big of a deal. Especially since they don't have that many towers left. Speaking of that many towers left, we got Weaver up top, all by his lonesome. He might be getting scouted out. They had the Link Sphere available on top of him, so he should be able to get out of here. Barrier is going to be able to Force Staff the Weaver, and looks like he Force Staffs in the wrong direction. Weaver getting scouted out, has a TP available, drops the ulti, going to be able to run the other, but Lich scouts him out. They do see him. I don't know if they can drop it. The Death Appearance does get hit, and now Weaver's going to be a little bit of trouble. Link Sphere down for 2 seconds. Chronosphere coming up from the face of Void, but it's not going to be fast enough. The damage is going to be there, though. Zeus is following with so much damage. Just one dead. Lich dropping the ulti, bounce on top of 2. It's going to continue to bounce. It's doing enough damage. Does not kill anybody. Instead, Lich and crew going to be forced to back away. He will TP out under the cover of the tombstone. And that was a very scary series of events. That almost worked out really well for F Logic, but that TP response, having your tier 1 towers available at this stage in the game, always valuable, especially when people are getting picked off like that. They do still lose the Weaver, who does lose a killing spree, so quite a bit of gold going the way of F Logic. But they did end up losing 3 people collectively, Batrider included. One of the people who I stated before is kind of going to be tasked with the job of creating as much space as possible for Alchemist to farm, who is working for his Sanj and Yasha. So SLY going to be the item of choice for Alchemist. Just make sure you can stack or get some more strength, get some more right click, get some more overall utility. There's an alternative for Alchemist to go for a Mantis style, which I think would be cool to help him with the counter pushes, but I don't know if it's better for him to go ahead and save up for a Mantis style, or to try to go ahead and get himself a Sanj Yasha. I think a Sanj Yasha would be nice as far as effective stats for right now to help his team fight, but the Mantis style would be a little bit better in the later games, because then he can get those stats from other items like a BKB. Speaking of BKB though, I don't know if I see anybody working on it yet. Yeah, looks like Alchemist he is going for the Mantis style, so he's going to invest in the later game. That's fine, that's fine. CulBlu called it wrong, okay. But overall, it looks like nobody's really investing into BKB. I guess it makes sense, because BKB is not going to stop Barrow to Lasso, and BKB is not going to stop a Chrono. I also wonder if Faces Void is going to invest in a Aghanosceptor, but he did invest in a Blink Dagger. Heck yeah. And this is the way I think Faceless Void should be played. There's a lot of people who have differing opinions on this, but my honest to goodness opinion is that Faceless Void is no longer a carry. You can play him as a carry, but I think you can play him as a carry in the same sense you can play Magnus as a carry, where he plays as a really good offlaner. And if you if you can happen to get some big farm on and get some big items, then you can do relatively well, and you'll have a lot of fun with that. But if you get a Blink Dagger with Faceless Void, he becomes a great initiator. And considering the fact that everybody on SAD squad is a ranged person, they can all either right click or drop spells. And having the Witch Doctor there to help out as well, I mean, just the amount of damage he can put out by himself is actually pretty darn impressive. So SAD, a lot of synergy in the lineup. This is one of the things I wanted to talk about earlier, but I decided to stop and talk about it because team fights were happening. But just the amount of synergy coming up from SAD is pretty impressive. And on F-Logic side, I mean, they don't have as much synergy. I don't think, the lineup can't go as late as SAD's can, because SAD do still have the Weaver at the end of the day. They do still have the Zeus, who scales relatively well as a person who only casts spells in the late game. So they do still have a heavy mountain to climb against, and having this whole entire game rest on the back of Alchemist is going to take a ton of farm. At the very least, he's at the top of the network chart, and Manticel's fully finished up, so he can start building his bigger items. I think AC would be a good next item for him to go for, just to have the extra armor. But all that's said and done, it's still going to be a hellish of a game turn to fight back. I don't think Undying's ever going to become a factor at this stage of the game. Just going to be there to drop a tombstone and die, maybe heal up somebody. That's really about it. And Adventure Spirit, always useful, but she can only be useful once. Her ulti is as good of an ability as you can get for something that you use once and then die. Speaking of using something once, Adventure Spirit casually drops herself a Dust of Appearance for I don't know what reason, but looks like Weaver's gonna be around the corner. He gets scouted out by a Central Ward, but it looks like they find themselves a nice Faceless Void invis all by himself. He takes so much damage, he will be going on. Lich actually commits to ulti, and now Adventure Spirit on the backside gets a stun off on top of the Weaver, and Weaver will be forced to back away. They do drop out the Wave of Terror. Adventure Spirit getting healed up by her allies, her compadres, her compatriots, her bros, her brosifs, her broskis. And yeah, I mean, Faceless Void getting picked off is good. That means that they don't have as much initiation as they had before, and this opens them up to go for a Roche without much fear. But they still got to be very careful because Weaver can still wreck their stuff. And Wave of Terror coming through, Roshan having less armor than he did before. -6 armor, and they are pinging down the middle, saying, hey, ping down the middle. Let's go for mid. Let's go for mid tower. And they're focused on objectives on SAT Gaming side. Meanwhile, F-Logic, they will be able to get this Roshan. He will be going down here in a second. And having Aegis on Alka is going to be useful. It's going to be useful, but I don't know how useful. Without a BKB, I don't know if it's going to be that effective for him. If I'm not mistaken, when Alchemist dies, he loses his ult. And he comes back in normal form. And if that's the case, then he needs a BKB if he wants to try to make it out of these fights. If you want to make it out alive, then you need yourself a BKB. For anybody who caught that reference, you're awesome. I know that song from that one line. Anyway. Moving back to the game, top lane and jungle are getting farmed by SAD because when you have this kind of advantage, you want to press your advantage. Speaking of which, they are still sitting pretty comfortable around that 5k advantage. That's about 5k gold. If you want to balance out the tower gold, that's about, not including Roshan, they're still behind on F-Logic, so there's still about a 2k gold lead in favor of SAD. If we talk about just purely, no objectives included, just straight up fight gold. Because there are 4 towers available on the side of SAD. That's about 4,000 gold. Roshan is about another 1,000, so that's 5,000. And this graph is about, what, 1k, 1.5k, 2k-ish? So about 2k gold advantage in favor of SAD, and that's considering only team fights and only ganks. That's a lot to be said considering that there's an Alchemist on the side of F-Logic. I mean, he has himself the Grievous Greed. He has been, relatively speaking, farming this entire game. His last hits are probably sitting pretty darn ridiculous right now. So yeah, 212 last hits. Weaver's keeping pace relatively nice. I mean, Weaver's actually keeping up there with the gold. We do see that he's actually right behind the Alchemist by about a whole 3k deficit. And all things considered, that's actually relatively good. And now Rubik, hang out in trees. Gonna go and dance. Oh, Rubik and Faceless Void. Oh gosh. And oh man, this actually might be a huge fight. If they can actually catch somebody off with this one, this is gonna be a huge wraparound. They got people coming in the front to go for defense, and they got Faceless Void coming around the back, so it's gonna be a huge team fight for them. The Tombstone does get committed. They're gonna go for it. Looks like Rubik and Faceless Void are officially activated. They're gonna walk down the trees. Adventure Spirit scouts out the Rubik, and that's a Faceless Void catches on the Chrono Spirit, catches 2. Lich ulti not gonna be getting used because he's actually caught inside the Chrono. Witch Doctor ulti coming through, wrecking the team so hard right now. Lich ulti gonna be bouncing around, and I think Alchemist pops his ulti before he dies, so he will not have that available. control, and both sides kind of taking the relatively speaking casualties. It was a really good initiation coming from Sad, but unfortunately they weren't able to capitalize. It looks like F-Logic going to press the advantage while they can. We're starting to go with the second casualty. Nope, not yet. Coming very soon. Actually, Alchemist died. Oh no, Alchemist got picked off. Holy crap! I didn't realize Alchemist got picked off. It was actually a huge loss. Alchemist lost the Aegis and he dies. If they can catch a Zeus, it'll be worth it, but Zeus has a suicide, so he can actually use a suicide. And so he does. And Alchemist actually picks up an Octarine Core. Interesting. Huh. If I'm not mistaken, Alchemist picked up an Octarine Core. Wow, okay. That works out. So, for those who don't know, Alchemist's Acid Spray counts as magic damage in giant AoE, and if you get an Octarine Core, I guess is really worth it, especially when everybody seems to be fighting under a Chronosphere. So everybody seems to be relatively clumped up on Sad Gaming side. In that case, how much does it get healed up for? It's what, 30 damage per second? So 30 damage per second, we call it 25% of that. So 25% of 30, 24% of 10. Let's just do that. It's like 2.5. So 2.5 times 3. Is 7 point something per second, so about 7 HP regen per second, and assuming there's 5 people there, that's 7 times 5, so 45, so about 45 HP per second, on top of the fact that Alchemist has about 100 HP regen per second, so it's going to keep him relatively sustainable. It's going to be also nice to have that increased mana pool, and I think overall having the cooldown on your spells where you can just pop maybe 2 acid sprays is going to be pretty darn ridiculous. How long does this last? It lasts 16 seconds. It lasts 16 seconds. And it go. Wow, that's pretty darn broken. Basically, just continuous acid spray, acid everywhere. And does Octarine Core? What? Octarine Core affects Mantis styles. Forgot. So more frequent Mantis styles. So Octarine Core, interesting item pickup for Alchemist. I don't. Actually, no, I do. I do think it'll be the thing that'll help him get back into this game, because Alchemist having his ulti that quickly, like basically 33 seconds, it lasts for 25 seconds. Smoky Ink gets scouted out completely. Fortunately, nobody takes any damage, but the Smoke Ink does get scattered out completely, and the whole entire squad are going to roll in. Face of Void has the ulti available. Looks like Invincible stun does get stolen, and now we got some stuff coming through. Lich ulti bounce on top of 2 is going to be... No, sorry, Witch Doctor casted. Lich ulti bounce on top of 1, and now Witch Doctor trying to do some damage, but he does get hit with a nice casket coming out from the face of... or coming from the Battery, and they do go for the fight continuously on the backside. They're trying to get some more damage. Unfortunately, nobody dying just yet. Holy crap. Tombstone and everything just flying all over the place, and now Barrett is going toe-to-toe with the Face of Void. Face of Void might be able to win the fight. The damage does come through. Face of Void will be going down. The first casualty of this fight, and now Weaver on the backside. Nice ability coming out on top of the Barrett. Make sure he stays alive. He's gonna be able to blink out of there, and he's still getting chased by the Zeus and the Weaver though, so he is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Has a TP scroll available. Not gonna be able to make it this one. Not enough HP to hold you up in that one, bro. And the rest of his team do back away. So a really crappy fight for F-Logic, I must say, but they made it work. The Chronosphere, I don't know if the Chronosphere was as on point as Sad wanted it to be, but they did catch the Alchemist, and they also caught one more. I don't recall who they caught inside of it as well. But basically, if you just lock down the Alchemist, make sure he's not doing right click, make sure he's not dropping his acid spray, doing Octarine Core shenanigans, then you can overall have a good fight. Just keep him controlled and you'll be fine. And Weaver survived that whole entire fight too, so he was able to get in there, bob and weave, and get some kills and get some damage. And he has a Deso coming his way too, so that's gonna be fantastic for him versus someone like Alchemist, who has armor problems to a certain extent. Not a ton of armor problems, but I mean the fact that he needs a 9 armor from Lich to actually go toe to toe with Weaver means that Weaver can just go ahead and wreck him down. He just came in like a wrecking ball, basically. Meanwhile, Alchemist getting healed up because he needs more heal, right? It's actually gonna TP down bottom, boost your travel, a little bit OP for him. And the pings do come through. They're gonna go ahead and go for another smoke, I'm assuming, or not. And we just see both sides just kind of rotating around the map. So taking a look at the items, because we saw Zeus has his Bloodstone at 10 charges, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it was at 10 charges to back up to 7. He did have the suicide last time around. Rubik does have a Glimmer Cape available. Also, we have the Earnest Shadows available too. So that's been keeping him nice and sustained in between these fights. Has been involved in a few fights. I don't know how many earned charges he's been collecting this whole entire game though. Sanji Yasha fully finished up on top of the Faceless Void, so he can actually transition and start get some damage. I don't think he's going to invest in something like a Melnir, but it would be nice if he did. Speaking of things that would be nice if he did, we got Alchemist getting caught with the Chronosphere coming from Face Void. Face Void dropping the ability to make sure the Alchemist can't do it, but Lich also going to bounce through. It will be bounced on top of the Weaver too, but sadly it didn't bounce on top of anybody else, and Faceless Void and crew will be forced to back all the way away. With Lincoln Spirit from Weaver does get popped, but he's still going to get stunned by this, and he will be stuck here for a few seconds. Geometry side up on Vince Spirit or up on somebody. Lasso come from Barrow. This will be a huge pickup. They do get the kill on top of Weaver, so nice play coming up from them.
the whole entire team able to rotate in time. And to be completely honest with you, I think that's been the only problem with F-Logic so far, is that the rotations as far as responding to ganks have not been as on point as SADs have. We saw the team fight happen up top a little while ago. Hold on, before we talk about that, just make sure nobody's dying right now. We saw a team fight that happened before up top, where basically there was a few people trying to get, or a few people on F-Logic trying to gank SAD, and the TP rotations came in immediately from this tier 3 tower. So the TP rotation response coming out from SAD has been on point, but F-Logic, they had their TP rotations finally come in, and they were able to get something out of that. Speaking of getting things out of that, nobody has a geometry sight, except for Lich. So unfortunately, that will be a Rubik making it out there because of Glimmer Cape shenanigans.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Speaking of shenanigans though, Barrett has a BKB available, so that means that no more nuke damage from Zeus will affect him. Well, okay, it's not entirely true. And Alchemist, he is going for the AC, so that will be his next big item. Make sure he can actually hit faster and just do a little bit more damage. And we're about to see the biggest of team fights happen here very soon. Faces Void waiting in the backside, has the Time Walk available, has the Blink Dagger available, doesn't really want to get caught off too terribly hard, knows the Barrett is probably hanging out in the trees. And they're both just kind of hanging out in their respective trees. Like, this is like intense Dota right now. Actually, this is actually in-forest Dota, because they're not intense, they're just in the forest. So it's in-forest Dota right now. Anyway, Glimmer Cape, I heard it. I heard a Glimmer Cape get used. Rubik. Maybe see if they bait out something on top of Zeus. Actually, Zeus scouts out the Bat Rider. They see him. They're trying to get the damage on so he can't blink. Actually, Zeus, oh no, Bat Rider comes forward. He catches the Face's Void, or catches the Wishlock. The BKB comes through. They're going to go ahead and try to fight off this. I think it's a relatively bad fight, but they're going to go for it anyway. Face's Void hanging on the backside. He needs to blink in here, get a nice Chronosphere available immediately, but he said he's taking a little bit more damage. Vendor Spirit going to be the one taking a little bit of damage. Wishlock the first one to fall, and they're going to get a nice little swap. Beautiful juice coming out from Vendor Spirit. Here comes a Chronosphere from Face's Void, forced to use it to retreat from the whole entire fight. Now Lich and crew, they are going to be able to, Rubik going to catch himself a Bat Rider with his ult. With Bat Rider's own ult, and I think this is going to be the end of the life of Rubik. Wow, words are hard. Rubik's still alive, going to be going down. Geometry side available on top of Lich, if I'm not mistaken, so he actually gets out of there. And overall, a really good fight coming from F-Logic. And now Zeus, oh no, Zeus on the chase. Cat versus Mouse, who's going to win the fight? That's Face's Void. And Face's Void, unfortunately guessing wrong. Bat Rider is going to continue to run away. Doesn't want to die right now. Meanwhile, we had a mid tower go down. Not sure if Weaver was the one doing all that, but it might have been. Actually, there's still a fight happening. No fight. Yeah, he dropped the Beatles. So I guess he's trying to kill Undying. Interesting. Alright, so taking a look at the buyback, because I want to see who has what. We do have buyback on pretty much all the important cores, with the exception of Bat Rider. He's relatively close to it. Also Zeus. Zeus doesn't have buyback either. Zeus did buy out and get himself an Aghanim Scepter. Probably going to invest in some Booster Travel here very soon, and maybe even a Refresher Orb. Or even an Octarine Core of his own. Use the Octarine Core to replace that bottle. Give him just that much more damage, that much more utility to his team overall. Being able to spam those spells. Alchemist, he does have the AC. I think it's fully finished up, but the courier did die last time around, so he's unfortunately not going to be able to benefit from that right now. Unfortunately, I don't have the courier on a high key, because I'm not that pro, guys. I'm bad. Meanwhile, Roshan's getting beat up. The Beatles, they do get scouted out, so they see the Beatles running through, and Alchemist and crew will be able to walk around the corner. They should be able to see Rosh getting beat up, but we're actually doing relatively well versus the Rosh by himself. So his ulti coming through. Alchemist Illusion walking in. Weaver actually relatively low. They need to hurry and kill Roast as fast as they possibly can. We have the response coming from F-Logic. They're in high pursuit right now. They come around the corner. Looks like Undying will be the one to not get scouted out by the Beatles. I don't know if the Beatles gave him enough vision, but Roshan is still getting beat up. Tombstone coming down. They're going to be able to get the damage. And here comes Roche still. Weaver does get the Aegis, and looks like Barrett and crew do get cut out immediately by the Face of Void ulti. Wishlock to ulti on the high ground. Going to be able to stop everybody. Lich ulti bounce around doing some nice damage. Going to be able to catch on top of two of these guys. Weaver needs to pop the ulti immediately, or else he'll die. Looks like Face of Void going to be the only one to die in this whole entire fight. Weaver has Aegis still, so he was okay with dying in that fight. But yeah, that was pretty darn intense once again. Pretty much your two biggest impacts mid game people did both die. You had the Faces Void, who had the beautiful Chrono to help him get a kill, and you also had the Barrett, who did the beautiful contesting of the Aegis in the first place, with his team following up. So this is more or less just a game. It's pretty much anybody's game at this point. I do still think Sad had the better late game because of the Weaver Deso, and because of the Zeus and how he scales in the late game when he gets to Octarine Core. But Zeus has to first buy an Octarine Core before that becomes a factor. Right now, Alchemist doing a little bit too much, Barrett doing a little bit too much for them to deal with, and eventually Lich is going to have an Ags, and that's going to be hugely problematic. This is more damage overall. potentially infinite damage if you can actually get good bounces. So we got a Crimson Guard getting picked up by Undying. So he did invest to go for that. Has the full entire Guardian Greaves and Crimson Guard. So that means that he will be able to help his team run in there and get those fights going. It's going to be extremely useful versus Weaver's Beetles in general, because I think his Beetles, I think they hit for 12, no, 20 damage. So you can basically block Weaver's Beetles completely whenever you try to right click you. But it doesn't stop the negative armor though. I don't think it stops the negative armor. Meanwhile, Undying gonna be able to heal up his allies, and both sides are just kind of playing this little war of attrition. They don't want to walk too far. They don't want to walk too close. The sun is pretty darn bright right now, so nobody wants to be out there. Speaking of being out there, the gold graph is finally in favor of F Logic. They did get the Roche. They did get the better of the trades. Actually, no, they probably didn't get the better of the trades. Face of Void and Barrier at this point, in my opinion, are pretty much even. If we look at the gold graph, it's probably not true at all, but I feel like they are relatively even as far as how they impact the game. Let's see, Face of Void, and oh, look at that! Whoa, holy crap, guys! That was current gold. Never mind. Whoa, holy crap, guys! Look at that! CulBlu was right. Face of Void and Undying are basically even at this point in the game. Actually, we got a team fight happening in mid. My bad, guys. We're missing some stuff. We got Undying dropping the ulti, trying to get the extra damage. They're going to be able to jump immediately on top of Zeus, who will be going down. He actually suicides right before he dies. Well played from him, but he's still dead, bro. We got the push coming mid. Alchemist ulti has been activated. Weaver still has the Aegis, so he actually once again into this fight has a Heart of Tarrasque available too. So he has a ton of stats available, able to help them get the right clicks. Looks like they will be able to go ahead and push in. Undying dropping that Crimson Guard, make sure that nobody gets hit too hard by the Beetles, and now Alchemist still trying to right click. Oxygen Core doing his due diligence. Weaver coming to the middle of the fight. He's actually taking quite a bit of damage. Going to be able to Sakuchi forward. Gets hit with the stun. The follow-up stuns are massive right now. Face of Void. He's going to get Chrono. Catches two. Unfortunately, catches the Weaver as well. But looks like we'll be just in time. Witch Doctor ulti, unfortunately, going the wrong way. He does get hit with the Lich ulti. Beautiful ulti coming from Lich. Nicely well played. And Zeus does come back into the fight. He drops the ulti. Gets a kill. Jimitsu's gets dropped on the ground. Lich falling on the deck. This is going to be a next fall on top of Vincent Spirit. Alchemist in the middle of the fight. He doesn't want to die right now, but he's going to be losing his life. He goes down. And oh no, he's still alive. Still fighting. Still trying to go for it. He does officially go down. The heal not strong enough. And Undying. Alchemist feeling very sad about that one. A really, really hard fought fight. I think both sides had the potential to just completely lose that one. But at the end of the day, F Logic do officially lose the hold that they did have, and the gold graph is going to be shooting straight back up towards SAD. They will be trying to convert this into Raxes, which are exposed right now. Undying, the only person left to really defend. Alchemist forced to buy back into the fight. So basically, try to claim one Rax and back away is what you want at this point. SAD have already had a huge impact on the economy of F Logic just by having the Alchemist buy back. That's going to be one buyback on cooldown completely. Looks like they will be able to claim themselves two sets of Rax. Barrett actually blinking forward. He misses the lasso. He does force that forward, trying to catch somebody. If he can get anything, he'll be happy. BKB needs to be popped, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to pop it. It's going to be going down for his troubles. If he popped his BKB before it happened, it would have been worth it, but unfortunately it was not. And actually he buys back. He wants to make this worth it for his team. Wants to go back into the fight. He's trying to get back into the fray. Has a Firefly available in 19 seconds time. Blink Dagger Force Staff going to be back online here soon. Ulti never used. And they're actually pinging, hey bro, get the creeps. And Face of Void will be farming that. So a little bit of a hasty buyback. That's going to be a huge impact on the economy of F Logic. One thing a lot of people don't like to consider, I guess they do consider it, but they don't really talk about it much, is how hard you hit the opponent's economy. So Dota is more of a game of attrition. Like, you can't always win all the battles. You can't always win all the fights with a clean bill of health. Like, you can't go in as 5 and come out as 5 all the time. Somebody's got to die eventually. So because of that, it does make it really difficult overall. In the sense that if you can force your opponent to spend more money than you did in the fight, then you pretty much won the whole entire fight. And the simple fact that they force an Alchemist to buyback, whose buyback is like, what, 1k gold? Yeah, it's 1.5k gold for his buyback, and they also forced the Barrier to buyback, who actually didn't need to buyback, which his buyback is about 1.2k gold. That's about a 3k gold hit that F Logic took, not including the fact that they did lose one of their Raxes, and they also lost some overall gold. Fortunately, it was the melee range Rax and wasn't the melee one, but still, those creeps are still going to push. Like, that thing hits for 58 damage versus their thing that hits for 33. Pretty intense stuff going on, but overall, F Logic did take the bigger economy hit, and we also see the gold graph shooting way back up in favor of SAD. So not only did they get more space and more room to farm and have a creep rate to also push automatically, they also forced a lot of money out of F Logic's pocket. Anyway, we see a team fight about to happen here very soon. Tower taking quite a bit of right clicks. Weaver has a mad style or illusions. Hold on, what? Yeah, Weaver has illusions. He had illusion room. An illusion on illusion battle right now. A battle of epic proportions. And Alchemist has a Manta style available in 4 seconds. This is so absurd. Freaking OP Manta. Drops another Manta style because hey, why not? So right now it's a very crappy situation because both sides can't really do much. Neither side wants to take a step too far forward. It's basically gonna come down to whoever overextends more. Faceless Void is kind of like a Bat in sense that he can stop everybody in one spot and help his team get the kill because they do have the ranged abilities necessary to help do the damage while the Chrono's available. But on the other side of all that, you have the Bat who can just get the pick off on top of someone like a Faceless Void. And speaking of which, Bat is going to come forward. He's going to immediately come forward. Faceless Void blinks forward, patches everybody. Beautiful play. Lich ulti bouncing around. Going to be able to catch on top of 2. Weaver taking quite a bit of damage, and he looks like he will be able to drop the ulti. Witchdoctor ulti doing a nice bit of work on the background. Nobody dead just yet, but the Witchdoctor ulti just bouncing all around. Look at it go is what he's saying right now. Jimmy Suicide does drop on the ground. Weaver does go down officially, and now we got another kill going towards the Faceless Void, so he falls. Unfortunately, the tower is not dead yet, but looks like it's taking quite a bit of damage. Looks like they will find themselves a nice Zeus all by his lonesome. The god of Zeus is officially going down, and now Rubik did pop the Undying ulti, just trying to get some right clicks on, because hey, why not? Trying to keep his allies alive. Nice 4-step forward on Witchdoctor. Witchdoctor still trying to go for a fight. Glimmercape gets used, but he's going to get scouted out. German Suicide did get picked up by the Bat, and that will be it. Everybody backs away. Everybody backs away. They're just running away as fast as possible can. Undying is hunting down a Weaver, or hunting down a Rubik. Not going to be able to get close enough to him, though. And actually, Weaver's still bobbing and weaving into these fights, trying to stay true to his namesake. He sees it. I think he sees the Alchemist about to stun himself. I don't know if Weaver wants to go in, though. Yeah, it's going to be very dangerous. He did buy back into that fight. So still a very even game. 30 to 31 kills. Sad do have the grunt of the loss for it right now. They did just lose a fight, which means that Golgoth's going to be heading right back towards that 0 mark. And this game is a lot more even than I would have imagined. Like I said, F-Logic, I do not foresee the lineup scaling that well into the late game, mainly because I think Zeus and Weaver, those two combined, can scale better than a solo Alchemist. But then again, you can never count the team out with a Bat Rider. If he gets the key pick off on top of Faceless Void before the Chrono falls, then who really cares? Who really cares about Faceless Void? If he can get the pick off on Zeus before Zeus can drop a few nukes, then who really cares if Zeus got picked up in this game? So I think we're coming to a state where Zeus might need to invest in a Lincoln Sphere as well, because, or maybe even the Echo Shell. Like, I think if a support picks up the Lotus Orb, it'll be really nice for them overall. They can counter a ton of spells coming out for F-Logic, especially if they can cast an Echo Shell, and then force Lich to drop his ult, and then have their own Lich ulti bounce around. That'll be perfect. But I don't think anybody's going to invest in that. Nobody wants to go for a Lotus Orb. Lotus Orb has no love. Lotus Orb gets no love. Alright, so continuing on with the game, we got Boots of Travel getting purchased up, and you know what that means? That's right, one team fight away from this game ending. We got Boots of Travel up on Weaver, we got Boots of Travel up on Bat Rider, you get a Boots of Travel on Alchemist, you get to Boots of Travel, okay, no you don't. But Undying has Guardian of Greaves, so that's good that he has them. Roshan, he is back up, gonna be getting beat up a little bit. Weaver just poking at him, throwing some bugs in his eye. Rosh doesn't appreciate that, looks very angry. I think he's pretty hurt about that. And itemization on top of all the people. Your supports have some really nice items. You have Vengeful Spear with both the Tornado Stick and also the Solar Crest. Really helpful overall. And you also have the simple fact that Rubik has the Glimmer Cape 4-staff. Actually, the Ethelins, I completely forgot about that one. Ethelins has been helping out a ton too. Having the extra range to do a telekinesis from so far away, or even be able to force somebody just that extra 200 units, always helpful. Items on Weaver though, he has himself an MKB, he has a Desolator. I think really the only other big item he can go for if he wants to is possibly a Daedalus, but I don't think I've ever seen many Weavers to go for a Daedalus. Meanwhile, Rubik's gonna go ahead and pop that Undying ulti just to help him do Roche just a little bit faster. Damage amp is damage amp. And Cheese getting dropped, Witchdoctor gonna be the one to pick that up, which I think is very necessary. So I think in this specific game, kind of Witchdoctor is one you want to keep alive. Faceless Void, he's basically a Magnus / Enigma. He blinks in, drops an ability, everybody's happy. If he lands it, everybody kind of calls him, bro, you suck, if he misses it. But overall, just as long as Faceless Void can drop that initial chrono, he doesn't really need to stay alive. Witchdoctor is going to be the one doing all the damage though. And actually, he gave his cheese. He gave his cheese up. I gave it to Zeus. Okay, Zeus is also important too. Forgot about that part. Zeus is very important with the ability, or simple fact that the more abilities Zeus can drop during a team fight, the more his damage output goes out. And given the fact that Zeus's abilities are what they are, and what they have such a crappy, or such a ridiculously short cooldown, the more abilities he can drop out, the better off he is, and also the more damage he does overall. Because keep in mind, every time he casts a spell, that's 11% of the people's HP or damage, HP as they take as damage, but it's magical damage, so it is reduced by magic resist. But even still, it's still a big issue because that means that's 11% less HP that Alchemist has to work with. That's 11% less HP than Barrett has to work with, and it's really annoying. So, more spells for Zeus, the happier he is. And we see a team fight about to happen. We got the rotation coming through. The smoke gang coming in. Undying leading the charge. Gonna be able to find himself a Zeus. Exactly what they wanted. Tornado Stick immediately coming up. And Zeus is gonna be all but dead. He actually 4 steps away. He does get hit with the stun. And gets hit with the lasso too. They really want this kill. Zeus will be going down. Bloodstone not available. Hey, Alchemist drops the A-Blade. Bloodstone was available actually. And now we got a team fight happening on the backside. Faces Void and Rubik gonna be getting cut off from their ally. Rubik forced to drop the Undying ult just to make sure he can, be all baller-like. And Weaver did pick up a tower. So objective gaming right now. Trying to get what they can while everybody on the side of F Logic is forced or down bottom trying to kill the Zeus. Weaver's catching the tower. And if they can just keep picking them off and prodding them off like this is going to be a very horrible game for him because Weaver's pretty much anti-mage / nature's prophet. Just a little bit worse though, because he doesn't have to buy Shadow Blade, doesn't really have to buy himself some booster travels. Oh, okay, he does. But he doesn't really have to buy a Shadow Blade like nature's prophet does to be that annoying. Just kind of naturally does it. It's kind of born into it, you know? He was born this way. So rotation still coming through the map. Blink Dagger faces Void. We already called that out. Alchemist. He has an A-Blade, a beautiful item for him to pick up. If he can drop the A-Blade on top of Weaver before Weaver can Sakuchi away and do all these other shenanigans, and it'll be fantastic. So that's going to be a very big item for him to have. Basically, it has about 5 seconds worth of stun, or sorry, 7 seconds worth of stun if he times everything perfectly. Actually, does Alchemist? Hold on, I thought the cap was 5. Oh, okay, cap is 4. So basically, it has himself a whole entire 6 seconds worth of stun. That's assuming that he doesn't get another bash in there. Tornado Sticks galore on the side of F Logic. They do have one on top of the Undying. Oh no, Weaver getting caught out. He actually gets hit with the stun. He's going to be a little bit of trouble. Barrett can come forward and blink, but looks like they decided to back away. Meanwhile, we got a kill coming down bottom on top of the Undying. A very unfortunate series of events. And Rubik's still having a lot of fun with that ulti from Undying. He should be losing here. Oh no, he just restole it. Okay. So he just restole that Undying ult. Feeling very happy about that. That's just extra damage. I mean, I don't know what to say outside of that's just damage amp. It's stronger than what people think it is. 30% damage amp is really strong if you're that close to somebody. And when you have somebody like the Witch Doctor who has his ulti bouncing around, which I think his Death Ward does count for the damage amp. If you have Witch Doctor with something like that, just bounce around doing that much damage, having the Rubik in there with the Undying ult's really useful. Anyway, we got a nice little lasso coming to the Witch Doctor. He's gonna be going down. Has a BKB available, but I think he just die. Looks like he does officially die. He dies all by his lonesome. Meanwhile, Weaver says, bro, let's do the rat. And now I heard Vince's Spirit swap. I heard Vince's Spirit swap. I hear it. There it is. It's happening down bottom. They're going to go ahead and try to get the kill on top of Zeus, but Zeus is a little bit too far away. They are changing their objectives. Weaver did force him back successfully. And they didn't convert on that last kill. Vince's Spirit got a swap, but unfortunately, Lich, or whoever that was, whoever she swapped was able to just walk away. Yeah, VS swap. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me who it was used on, but I think it was used on Lich, maybe? Can't tell. So the main thing is that the Chronosphere from Faces Void is going to be up in 8 seconds time, so that means that these guys are going to be ready to fight then. Faces Void is saving up a pretty penny right now. I don't know if he's going to be going for the Moon Shard. I think it would be a cool item for him to get, or he can actually maybe disassemble Sanj and get himself a Heaven's Halberd, so that way Alchemist can't right-click as much. And all things considered, since Alchemist is not building himself a whole entire, not building a BKB, it will affect him a ton. And even if Faces Void wanted to transition to a carry now, he could, but I don't know if anybody has an AC yet, because that'll be a nice pickup for him. Yeah, just go Aura Void. Go for all the auras, get yourself a nice little Vladimir's Offering, get yourself a, oh here, okay. Oh no, sorry, wrong team. Yeah, I was supposed to say, get yourself a Vladimir's Offering, get yourself an AC, just have a little bit of fun with it. Why not? So, top lane, creeps pushing in. Nice, juicy, gigantic, huge, bubonic, wrong word. Bubonic creep wave pushing up top. It will be pushing towards those Raxes. I don't know if the Dire are going to be able to, okay, they will respond. Alchemist's going to come up top, he will farm it. It's going to be quite a bit of gold going his way. And I'm moving to the raiding squad. I mean, they're sitting pretty right now. This is definitely their game to lose. But keep in mind the net worth advantage is in favor of F Logic for a reason. They have been having some favorable team fights in their favor, or favorable team fights in their favor. They have been having some favorable team fights, and they also have Grievous Greed on their side, where Alchemist is still continuously farming. Their economy hit wasn't as strong. I mean, I guess I over-exaggerated a little bit. I mean, it's just a range creep, but still it's an economy hit nonetheless. Their buyback gold has been farmed back up. I think everybody should have buyback who's important, and that's the Alchemist and the Weaver. So yes, they do have buyback. Zeus relatively close to buyback. I don't know if he's saving up for it or he wants to invest in his next big item. And Aegis, I think Aegis should expire, or should have expired. Looks like it did. It did expire. So the aggression coming mid from F Logic. They're going to go ahead and try to push up top, but Weaver going to make them think twice about it. This is just going to be continuous cat and mouse. They're saying, hey, go for mid, or defend mid. It looks like sad. Nope. Okay, they think Weaver's in trouble. Weaver going to go ahead and try to TP out of it. They're all sneaking up top. Vincent Spirit going to be the first one leading the charge. Does not have a true sight though. Needs to be very careful. Weaver still walking up here, still very casually walking on back, and he's going to be able to make it out of there. The whole entire squad coming out from SAD are here, though. They are ready to rotate in. They're trying to get as fast as possible. Smoke Gang is coming up. Weaver's going to be the one scouting on top. We're about to see ourselves some shit hit the fan here for real, though. Vincent Spirit does not see the Weaver. I think she heard him. Yeah, she probably heard that. Now they're going to walk right into a whole entire squad. Vincent Spirit going to be the one to scout out, and looks like she does get caught out. Rubik still has an ulti. Now Zeus drops the ulti. A lot of damage coming towards VS. She goes down. Meanwhile, Faceless Boy blinks forward, immediately catches himself a Wild Lich, who is actually kind of important. He will be going down. Now he's going to drop the ulti. Actually drops himself a Ghost Step just in time, but he does get blasted down by the Zeus. Wish Doctor ulti did fall too. Wish Doctor ulti did fall on that one too. And Lich King unfortunately doesn't have buyback. Looks like everybody from F Logic will be able to back away. And I think this is time for SAD to go ahead and press the advantage. They can go ahead and claim themselves 2 sets of racks, essentially. Meanwhile, Dire fortified their structures. I'm not sure why they fortified, but that was really... Okay, that's really bad. They might have been an accidental fortify. Maybe they said, hey, we lost this, let's go ahead and fortify and get it over with. I don't know. I think that fortify was way too early, though, because Weaver can actually just walk in here and casually tear away at their towers. Buyback does get used immediately by Vincent Spirit. She walks back to this fight. And that's really it. Yeah, both sides back away. They forced a buyback from Vincent Spirit. I guess that's what you want. Meanwhile, Weaver's going to go ahead and push down bottom because why not? His next big item was a butterfly, so he did decide to go for that just to flutter away. More damage, more evasion. I don't think there's any MKB coming up anytime soon on Alchemist. I don't even think he wants one at this point in the game. He's actually 6 slotted too. I don't think... Oh, okay, he's working on Aghanim Scepter, so he's going to go ahead and buy himself some Aghanim Scepters for everybody. He has enough gold for an Ag, so he just needs to go have the courier go purchase it for him. Now we got Weaver in a little bit of trouble. Alchemist coming forward. He's going to stun himself, though. And is it the first Ags, or is it second Ags? I haven't been checking. So yeah, Vincent Spirit has an Aghanim Scepter on her. Undying, he has the Aghanim Scepter ability on him. So as a second, this will be a third Aghanim Scepter coming up from Alchemist. Just going to go ahead and continuously get it up on everybody. I think the next person should be definitely Lich. I think Lich definitely needs an Aghanim Scepter. And Alch. He grabs himself an Ags. Courier gonna be flying it to him, I think. Or not. Nope. Okay, he's giving it to Bat Rider. Yeah, he gives it to Bat Rider. So the last person to get an Ags will be a Lich, which is surprising because I think Lich's ulti is very important in these fights. Especially when you have Chronosphere, things like Chronosphere where everybody's kind of gathering around the Chrono. If you could just break out that fight and drop the ulti to force everybody to run away, I think that'd be really important. But looks like everybody but Lich is gonna get an Aghanim Scepter going their way. And Alchemist, he actually has enough gold for the secondary Aghanim Scepter, but he's going to go ahead and save for buyback too. He is worth quite a bit of gold. It's about 3k buyback for him. Meanwhile, TPs do come up top. They're going to force him back in, and now Vincent Spirit actually gets scouted out. Oh, Weaver almost able to get a right click. Don't know if he got the first hit bash, but it might have been pretty damn close. Meanwhile, top lane, they're still continuing to push back. Observer for the Radiant is going to get killed. And they're dropping some X's. They're saying, hey, Roche is back up, so they're going to go for Roche. And this will be Roshan. Roshana. Oh my gosh, this will be Roshana getting beat up. This will be the last Aegis. Probably the last Aegis of the game. Cheese gets dropped as well. Wish Doctor, gonna go ahead and pick it up and let Zeus pick it up. Oh, Zeus already has Cheese. Hasn't used it from last time. Hasn't really died since last time either. What's the kill counter look like? So we have 10 kills on... Wait, no, where's Zeus? Yeah, 9 kills on Zeus. Or sorry, 9 deaths on Zeus, 11 kills on Zeus, and 15 assists. So he's been relatively involved in this game. That's about, was that 26 kills? So he's been involved in quite a few of the kills. And we're actually at 3-3-3-3, by the way. So I know everybody likes 3-2-2, but 3-3-3-3 is kind of cool too, as well. Alright, so now we're showing you the Alchemist is way at the top of that chart, just all the gold going his way. I don't know if he got the last Alchemist for Lich. Looks like he did not, so Lich will be denied. It will be literally, get it? Literally. It'll be literally the worst thing ever. And oh man, we got an Echo Shell. Nice! We got a Lotus Orb picked up by somebody and is currently on the Weaver. And now Weaver's going to actually get hit with a few abilities. I don't know if the cooldown's going to be back up. Weaver does have the Lotus Orb here up in a second. Looks like he's going to be able to drop it. There goes the damage. Nice little telekinesis coming from Barrett. And Barrett doesn't get caught in trouble. A lot of damage coming from Witch Doctor. The damage is still going through, but looks like they are going to be able to continue the fight. We got a toe-to-toe fight with Weaver versus whoever the heck this is. Alchemist trying to go all in. Lich ulti bouncing around, doing a little bit of damage. Not going to be able to do enough. It looks like the Sad Gaming lineup is falling apart. They do all go down. Weaver the last one to survive. Geometry side's available. They are all here ready to fight. And my bad, guys. Hit a button. Now we got Weaver. He's going to be the one to go down. And yes, we were watching that fight from the perspective of Sad, so my apologies on that one. But overall, everybody just pretty much getting smattered on the side of Sad. So a really rough fight, really rough fight for them. The Lotus Orb a little bit off cooldown. If they could have got the Lotus Orb before the lasso came through, it would have been perfect. And I think all things considered, Barrett, he did get 2 people in this lasso. I want to say Faces Void was one of the 2, which is why the Chronosphere was so late. Actually, no, it wasn't. Yeah, the lasso was on Weaver and somebody else. I think it might have been Witch Doctor. But Faces Void got the Chronosphere to stop the aggression. And like, speaking of stopping the aggression, we got buybacks getting used by the Faces Void and also by the Witch Doctor. 2 people who can't actually afford to come back into the game. Weaver going to go ahead and buy back as well. Doesn't want to lose too many towers, doesn't want to lose too many Raxes. They're going to ping the Alk though. And Alk will be able to back away. Going to continue his aggression elsewhere. Going to go aggressively farm the creeps. Or aggressively run past the creeps. And he's got to build one more Ags, and that's going to be the last Ags. It's going to be going to Lich, and now Lich is officially ready. The whole entire squad has Ags, boys. Sad Gaming, not going to feel very happy about this. They got so many Ags on the side of F Logic. They didn't got to waste a slot, basically saving a whole entire slot. Anyway, Rubik going to come in, telekinesis and illusion, and walks away. Actually taking quite a bit of damage from that, but yeah. They will still lose his tower. Man, that damage is strong. Holy crap. Illusions! Illusion can do it! Oh no! Okay, kill's a kill, I guess. So I got the tower anyway. So while we're watching all this madness happen, let's go ahead and start talking about some of the later game things. So, one thing I kept mentioning was that the better later game is on Sad Gaming side. The only reason why I say is because you have the Weaver who can actually go in and go into the back door. I think he can split push faster than F Logic's lineup can. That said, all this was assuming that Alchemist wouldn't be able to get as much farm as he does now. He's not really building towards attack speed. He does have the AC, which can help him actually kill towers, which is great and all. But the main thing is that he's actually traveled with his team a lot, and his team is actually able to get a lot of counter kills on top of this because of that. So overall the lineup coming up from F Logic. A lot of coming from F Logic is more death ball oriented, and the death ball is actually working out really well for him, especially when they can get pickoffs on top of Weaver, despite the fact that Weaver's actually been doing relatively well. Speaking of doing relatively well, we got Zeus dropping the ulti, gonna go ahead and get all the blink daggers on cooldown. Weaver forced to drop the ulti and move away immediately. Now Faces Void, drops the Chronosphere, and fortunately misses the Bat Rider, but he does cast the Alchemist all by himself, and now the damage coming through on top of, from Lich. Faces Void actually gonna backtrack all that damage, and there's a swap coming from Princess Spirit. They do go down. And once again, the fight's going the other way. Alchemist dropped the A-Blade on top of the Weaver. Weaver taking quite a bit of damage, but Alchemist needs the GFOT. His ulti is gonna be running out here very soon. He's gonna be able to drop it again, and they do get themselves a kill on top of the Faces Void. Trying to run away as fast as possibly can. Lich ulti doing his nice due diligence, going to be able to help them continue to run. But looks like Lich getting the Glimmer Cape, and there's Weaver getting the Alchemist cask, getting that cask though, and Lich actually might be the one to go down. Glimmer Capes galore. These guys are just playing the greatest escape. Looks like both sides kind of make it away, just licking their wounds. F Logic do take the bigger hit because they did lose more people. But unfortunately, the creep wave was not pushing in favor of Sad, so they can't really go and split push off of this. They can't really go and claim another tower off of this. All they can really do is just, you know, lick the rest of their wounds. They did lose 3 buybacks, and the gold graph heavily in favor of F Logic at this point in the game. Alchemist just racking up on that gold, and also his team just racking up on that gold once they catch up in towers. XP graph basically 0. I think everybody should be close, or should be past level 16 by now, if I can find the right button. Oh my gosh, Dota. There we go. Yeah, everybody passed level 16, so level 3 ultis are online for all. All the cores are at level 25 or very close to it. And yeah, so we're just waiting for the next big team fight to break out. We've seen a few team fights where both sides have been really, you know, the team that should have had the advantage lost, and then because the creeps were pushed so far away, they couldn't really retaliate too fast on the opposing team. And both sides just kind of continuously fall into that cycle. So we're just going to keep seeing that happen until somebody can actually get the gall to just say, screw it, push mid and win the game. And we are already at a 64-minute game too, so we're pretty much in the ultra late game. This is where it all counts. Every kill counts, every buyback counts, every death counts, and both sides playing really safe, trying to get as much farm as possible. Alchemist already has that buyback ready. 10k gold, doesn't really know what to do with himself. Probably buy a Moonshard to be happy about it. Looks like that will be the case. Courier flying towards Secret Shop. Moonshard for Alchemist coming in. And I think Radiant. Yeah, Radiant saw the courier fly over the Roche pit, so they see that, hey, say somebody's in our jungle, somebody's in our jungle. They're drawing some hard arrows mid. Both sides, or not both sides, Sad really want to go get themselves some Raxes. They have exposed Raxes, but they can still lose their Raxes really fast, so they need to come back in and they need to come back in and defend. If they can just send Faces Void and War Stalkers to defend, that'd be perfect, but they do need somebody back there like a Zeus or Rubik to get the control in these team fights. Rubik gonna be here already, dropping the Observer Ward preemptively. Already knows that thing's about to go down. Dropping the Undying ult as well, preemptively, dropping the damage, and here comes Alchemist going straight in. They're going straight forward. Fortify is available for Sad, and now Rubik actually dropping the Echo Shell a little bit early. Gonna Glimmer Cape himself away too, and Telekinesis coming on top of Barrett. Barrett gonna drop and stop everybody from hitting everything else. BKB does get used up. Glimmer Cape, not Glimmer Cape, Lotus Shell, Lotus Orb not available. Looks like Vince, something happened. Something happened. Barrett gonna be pushed back a little bit too far, and now the Raxes do go down. Face of Void dropping the ulti. They're gonna be able to get themselves a nice Alchemist. No, Alchemist gets swapped up by Vince's Spirit. She's gonna be sacrificing her life. She actually stays alive. Lich ulti bouncing around, doing some damage on the background. Look at this go. The Lotus Orb did come through for the wrong side. It looks like it is going to be a better bounce overall for the Dire Squad. Sorry, for the Radiant Squad. Unfortunately, it didn't have Aghanim Scepter. Now Alchemist in a little bit of trouble. Getting healed up quite a bit, but not going to be enough. Zeus going to be able to get himself a double kill. The fight's going to continue on the backside. Alchemist, Vince's Spirit's Vengeance Illusion is going to continue to run away. She's going to be going down now. She's trying to cause as much mischief as possible. And that is going to be it for that one. So, all that for one melee Rax. Holy crap. All that for one melee Rax in a tower, I guess. 2 buybacks forced out on F Logic side. Like I said, I really don't think they needed to buy back that fast, but they're just trying to make sure that they keep Sad honest. Trying to make sure that they have their primary cores available. Trying to make sure Alchemist and Barrett can get that buyback back on cooldown, so they can have just a little bit more advantage and keep their creep waves pushed out. Because the last thing you want to have is your creep waves pushed in. And speaking of all that, I didn't realize that they lost a lot of Raxes in that whole entire fight. So it looks like Weaver was in the back line just doing all kinds of damage, which might have forced a buyback. So yeah, looks like I missed a complete fight. So they were just trying to distract them, and it was successful. 2 sets of Raxes fully down for F Logic. CulBlu finally updating that map, and we'll check the gold graph real fast so I can see when that happened. Let's see, Radiance. I think that counts Rax. Yeah. So while all that fighting was happening, right at the end of it, before the buybacks came through, once the tower went down and then Alchemist went down, and then Weaver was able to get in there and get the damage on top of the Raxes and get him down. All right. So overall Sad, objective gaming, Weaver being the best rat he can be, putting on his best Nature's Prophet impression, and he's going to be able to force them all back. Meanwhile, Zeus just wrecking the creeps with those abilities. Octarine Core is fully finished up on him if I'm not mistaken. Looks like that answer is a yes! Zeus has Octarine Core working on a Refresher next. Double Perseverance build, OP please nerf. Meanwhile, the rest of the creeps the rest of the team is pushing in mid. They do see the Face of Void. They should see the Face of Void. Vince Spirit gonna be the one in the middle of it, and actually she's gonna regret her decision. Drops the stun on top of Weaver. Weaver actually gave up his legs for. He does have a rapier right now. If he actually gets picked up, it will be huge. Vince Spirit gets the swap off. She does have her ulti available. Will be able to use it again. I don't know if she wants to swap somebody else, but it looks like she does go down immediately. Meanwhile, Barrett gets the lasso off, has a refresher, gets another set of lassos off, catches 4 people. He's going mad right now. They get themselves a kill on top of Weaver, the hugest of all kills. Rapier is on the deck right now. It is going to be getting picked up eventually, but Ruby's going to be the one to try to run away. Echo Shell getting used, not going to be enough to keep him alive. He does go down at the end of the day. A full entire team wipe on Sad's lineup. Rapier is on the ground. I repeat, Rapier is officially on the ground. Lich is pinging the crap out of it. Alchemist really wants his Rapier. Rubik does buy back into this fight though. And Alchemist looks like he's going to continue to push. He doesn't care about Rapiers right now. He has no time to think about this Rapier nonsense. I don't know who they're going to put it on, but Alchemist is the only person to pick it up. Looks like buybacks are coming back immediately. They don't want to lose their Raxes. Alchemist can be forced all the way back. His Witcher Travels will be back up here in a second. And Rapier did get picked up. Yep, Rapier got picked up. It got picked up. Who did pick it up? Who picked it up? Undying Rapier. Carry Undying, boys. Carry Undying. Let's do this. He will carry you to the grave. That's what he does. Meanwhile, Alchemist having the best of times. Gonna go and beat up Roshan because why not? I really don't know at this point what item to replace. Looks like he's buying an Aghanim Scepter for himself. Maybe? I don't know. He's just buying Aghanim Scepters. Yeah. So nobody else needs an Aghanim Scepter, but he's buying the pieces for an Ags because I guess why not? It's like he has so much gold, he doesn't know what to do with it. Oh, right. Okay, it makes sense. He's going to go and use himself for the extra stats. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, Batrider does pick up the Aegis, and Cheese goes to Vengeful Spirit. And Alchemist, he's going to go ahead and use himself a Aghanim Scepter, so he can get some more stats, which makes a lot of sense. Courier is going to be picking up the last piece, yes? Yep, there we go. And Ags to be used on Alchemist for 10 extra stats and all attributes, plus some extra HP. Let's see, get used here. See how efficient this is. Look at that. Boom! He has 10 to all attributes, plus 200 health, plus 150 mana. He is as farmed as he can probably be. And he has everything but a refresher. But I don't think Alchemist needs a refresher, especially when we have Octarine Core. And I never realized Octarine Core turned his ulti down to that low. I mean, the fact that he only has, what is it, like a 10-second downtime? That's pretty darn ridiculous. So we see some pretty cool shenanigans getting used up in this game. Meanwhile, Undying has Rapier. I don't know if you guys have been falling asleep on this. Undying has Rapier, so I'm just letting you know. He also has the Shiva's Guard, which is really helpful. Vengeful Spirit still has the cheese, has not been used yet. They did just get it for her. And I think Zeus had to have used his cheese by now. Looks like he did. I mean, all the rest of the items on the other side, we have the Lotus Orb, we got Booster Travel galore on the side of the sad gaming side. They don't want to lose too many Raxes while all the shenanigans are happening. Butterfly, yeah, Weaver has really moved. Butterfly, Daedalus, I mean, hard to harass, not really much has changed. Witch Doctor has an Aghanim Scepter now, which is a huge item for him to have at this stage in the game. And also we have Rubik, who has the Lotus Orb, which is really helpful. Really helpful as far as being able to purge off some of those abilities. Speaking of purge off abilities, Rubik not going to be able to drop the Lotus Orb in time. He will be taking quite a bit of damage. They are going to jump on it. Now we got Facebook coming from back, so catches the Batrider and crew. Lich ulti bouncing around doing some damage, but speaking of doing damage, we got the damage coming up on Undying plus the crew. Witch Doctor's ulti is doing massive damage. Going to be forcing everybody back. And Tornistic can use on Vengeful Spirit. She's still alive. Whoever this is about to die. Facebook going to lose his life, his last time to walk this earth. It looks like he will not go down. He will not go down without a fight. Still alive somehow. Backtrack OP, please nerf. He does finally go down. Meanwhile, the fight's happening. Alchemist going all in. He's actually taking enough damage. He will be going down. He will be refused the kill. Now Vengeful Spirit, she's in the middle of the fight. Cheese was already used. She's going to go and hide while she can. And she does get revealed. She's going to be going down. Aegis is Aghanim Scepter is still available on her. So she can at least throw another spell or two. But that's really about it. It looks like Sad get just as much as they lost. They can still continue to push. They're TPing as far as they can forward to try to push as hard as they can. But the cores are still alive on both sides. You have, okay, what's the second Alchemist? You have the Batrider who's still alive, and Lich, who's technically a core by now. Undying, he actually buys back into the fight. Rapier gets picked back up by Weaver. He says, I am not having none of the shenanigans. I will hit for 13k crits, and you will deal with it. And Rax is just losing so much life. Fortify going to get used. Undying trying to come in, do what he can. He can't really do much, just sit there and die. Weaver can get hit with the Tornado here in a second. Does get hit with the Tornado. Raxes do go down. Looks like the fight's going to happen. This will be the last stand coming out for F-Logic. I don't know if they'll be able to get it, but looks like they're going to go straight for the Weaver. Weaver does get hit with the lasso. Damage coming from Zeus doing massive amounts of chunks, and they're not going to be able to do it. Batrider actually drops the lasso again. Weaver drops his ulti, Lich ulti bouncing around, just doing a little bit of damage, not a ton, and now Weaver will be the final one to die. Divine Rapier does get dropped on the ground. Weaver buying back immediately, trying to TP on top of Creep. If they can kill the Creep, it will be a big deal. Yes, they do kill the Creep. It looks like this will be the death of the Witch Doctor. He goes down, and no buyback for you into the fight, Weaver. If Weaver had his ulti available, he would use it. Weaver does not have it. Tried to TP on a creep, but it did get blasted by the Batrider and crew, so they focused it down really well. But unfortunately, basically mega creeps for Sad Gaming. We're in a huge hell of a situation. The Courier flying forward just to buy some extra big items. Rubik buying as many wards as he can. He doesn't know what's happening. Everybody's freaking out. Shit's hitting the fan. I don't know what's going on. There are creeps in the base. What's happening right now? This is ridiculous. So, continuing with everything else, Batrider had his refresher. He will be forced to go ahead and drop it back in the base and get his 4-staff back. That was a really well fought fight from both sides, but unfortunately the Weaver, he did drop twice. Where's the Rapier? Rapier got picked up by the Undying again, so he picked it back up. He was the one who owned it on his team. And he has himself a whole entire Rapier, Shiva's Guard, Crimson Guard. He's just guarding himself. Look at this. Holy crap, I didn't realize we had that many items with Guard in his name. We got freaking Crimson Guard, Shiva's Guard, Guardians, Greaves, Yule Scepter of Degardity. I mean, jeez, just go and keep going while you can. So yeah, so it looks like both teams are still in it. F-Logic are on the back foot, massively on the back foot. Even though they have the gold advantage, they've been winning all the fights. It really doesn't matter at this point. This is all about objectives, guys. You can have as many kills as you want, but it's just if you can't defend that ancient, this game's over. And that's sad. They do have point advantage. Basically have mega creeps. And pretty much all hands on deck right now to try to defend this bottom racks. I don't know how in the hell FLogic are actually gonna be able to win this game. If they can maybe get themselves a quick team wipe and then maybe push straight down mid and get the kill, that might be worth it. That might be all they can do. But I mean, yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to do it. So Rashawn coming back up in 3 minutes. Aegis does get reclaimed. And now Barrett has enough room for his 4 staff, so he will be picking it up here. Rashawn coming up in 3 minutes. I don't know if this game will last long enough for all that, but we see heavy posturing and flexing on both sides. That's what's happening right now. Face of Void did decide to go for the AC. He also has himself a solo crest. I think pretty much everybody's as far as they can get, with the exception of supports. They still have room to grow, but I mean, I don't know. Does Witch Doctor's Death Ward, would that benefit? Would that benefit from Octarine Core? Because that would be pretty cool. I don't think it does, because technically the Death Ward is counted as a separate entity. Like, it's counted as an invulnerable ward, whereas Witch Doctor's this whole entire thing, his own thing. So I don't think Witch Doctor's Death Ward will heal him with the Octarine Core, but it would be cool if it did. Pretty amazing. Anyway, they're pinging on top of the Alchemist. They say, hey, this is real Alch. They're going to try to go for it. And Weaver actually TP's in on top of his ally. Faces Void, wants to get the jump. If Alch dies, it's going to be a huge deal. Has 9k gold. Has buyback, though. But yeah, 9k gold. Holy crap. Man, damage galore on both sides. Like I'm just like on like pins and needles right now. I don't know who's gonna win. And we got him dying. He's just tanking the crap up. Has all the armor in the world. Basically every single armor item you can get, he has. That's not true, but he's trying. He's trying his hardest. Yeah, BKB East wins. Barrett's BKB's down to a 5-second charge. I don't think anybody on the side of SAD have picked up a BKB this entire game, except for Witch Doctor. I don't think it's been used that much. And next, oh no, the Chronosphere comes up. Barrett is going to be in a lot of trouble. He might be going down. The swap does come through. Looks like Barrett is going to be taking the damage, as so is Eventual Spirit. They do force themselves back away, and Witch Doctor not able to do enough damage. Eventual Spirit going to be the only one to go down. Actually drops a tornado stick, keep himself alive. Now we got the we got the lasso, double lasso coming out. Rubik is going to be the one, or Weaver's going to be the one to go down in this whole entire fight. BKB coming from Barrett. Everybody's splitting as fast as possibly can. Double lasso, lash on top of 2. Here comes the nice ability. The damage from Lich is coming in. Weaver has no buyback available. It's on cooldown for 2 whole minutes. Push straight down the middle. This is what you do. Go, go, go is what they're saying right now. Face of Void is the only one who can actually go in the back lines and try to kill the base, but his damage is not there. He can't push that hard. This will be a straight push down the middle. I think this just might be FLogic's hard-fought win. We'll see what happens. Buyback is available on nobody who's important. And Witch Doctor's the only one who can really buy back, and Alchemist is saying, screw your backdoor protection, bro. I'm gonna kill your shit. It's going to go for the Raxus. The creeps are on the base now. Alchemist still trying to go for the damage. The damage is massive. The ancients, sorry, the towers, the tier 2s are damageable right now because they do have a Rax down. Witch Doctor trying to come into the Finn. He's doing what he can. Faces Void is going to be the one to go down. He's actually trying to go ahead and go for some rat, but he can't really do much. Looks like this will be a tier 2 tower, tier 3, tier 4 tower going to be going down. Ancient will be getting blasted here. It looks like more kills are happening all over the place. SAD Gaming do call the GG. The game is going to end. I don't know what to say outside of holy shit, that got really intense really fast. Took forever, but it got there. So, wow, okay, man, look at that. Look at that. My bad on that, guys. Okay, so that's it for game 1. That's it for game 1. That's not on Dota TV for some reason, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't really have much else to say outside of just like go watch it again and just enjoy the madness. My name is CulBlu. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You can check me on my other channels, which is twitch.tv/CulBlu. That's CulBlu. I also have my YouTube, which is youtube.com/CulBluDota. That's CulBluDota. I am at a loss of words of what to say about this game, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you guys whenever.